It's an autonomous drone. This drone comes without a remote controller. So
What?
You pay $1,000, you get it without a remote because you can fly it from your phone. And what you do is you lock it onto a target with your phone, and I mean this thing will track it like nothing else.
Really?
Pull it out of the box. It's a 12 megapixel camera, which no big deal because you can get really close to stuff with it, so you still get that high quality.
Okay.
Other drones you might not be able to get as close because it's not as aware of what's happening. So you need a better sensor, right, further away to get more detail. This drone, it's got 6 cameras in addition to the one on front. So you've got 2 in the top front, 1 in the back, 1 in the bottom front, 2 in the bottom back. The props on the front are flipped upside down. Why? Has nothing to do with aircraft performance, nothing like that. They simply flip the props so that they can put cameras on top, and they wouldn't be impeded. Right,
Sensors, okay, gotcha.
Okay, so if anyone asks why does Skydio, why is it flipped? Well, it's so that the cameras can see. Now, while this drone's flying, all 6 of these cameras, along with this forward-facing camera, they are the processor inside this unit is creating a.
So that's why I guess I can fast a little more than everybody else.
It's creating a
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's creating a like a cloud point as it's flying. So real time. It's real time mapping its environment, not to be saved for like future purposes, only so it knows where it is. Right now, we're sitting here. We have peripheral vision. You can see something back here. You know where that tree is. You're not going to run into the tree because it's a hard object.
Right.
These branches right here. We're constantly mapping our environment so that we know what's around us. That's what this drone is doing, and that's why it can navigate in and around tough, small spots. Also, you can bring it into tight spots because it's not going to get any closer than it's supposed to.
Right.
You can put these other drones into tight spots, but it's not going to react. It's not going to move. It will get stuck. You might have had your sensors on before where you get somewhere and you can't go left or right because it doesn't want to fly there. This is going to find a way. If it could get in there, it can get out of there. So while it's creating that real, kind of like a live map, it navigates that space. Again, it comes without a remote. So you pop open your phone and you fly it with the app right there on the phone.
Okay.
You can get the remote controller for it, which is just like the Parrot Anafi controller. Pop your phone in here. Now you're going to get much better distance. Right now we're actually operating over like a 2.4 frequency, longer range.
Right.
When you're flying with your cell phone, what happens is this creates a network. It's like a router. So you're connecting to it like a home Wi-Fi network. So 100 feet high, and you're going to start maybe losing that connection.
Right.
So you pick up a remote. Now you can do more things with it. They have recently integrated Drone Deploy. Familiar with Drone Deploy? For mapping, right? So now you can get the Skydio 2. You can hook your phone in here, and you can start doing mapping and modeling with this drone. So it's taking it from that just like a cinematic level to now it's actually working into like a inspection type of a drone. Because of its autonomy, they're trying to put this in a box, right? So you can have this thing launching from a box at a construction site.
Oh, wow.
It's an absolutely incredible drone. I've had to track a vehicle at 35 miles an hour through and around trees, and it's just, you could put this thing through something that you would never put the Mavic 2 through, right? It's just that much more aware. But if you're trying to get that super crispy 4K shot,
Right.
that Mavic 2 Pro is going to have that better 1-inch sensor versus what's on this aircraft. I'll tell you right now, they're not building a drone that has the best camera. They could have put a better camera on here, right? But it would have cost the user more money. Throw a 20 megapixel, it's $1,500, $1,600 instead of $1,000. Skydio is all about spatial awareness. So that is what they're showing everybody right now, and it's pretty phenomenal. But because it's an automated flight drone, when you're manually flying it, it'll only go about 10 or 11 miles an hour. You can't put it in sport mode and fly fast. It flies fast when it's tracking. It doesn't trust you on the sticks. It trusts itself.
Wow. Does it have like waypoints?
You can fly waypoints. It's got some different flight modes and things like that, point of interest.
Okay.
You guys got it. I've seen the one wheels.
Yeah.
And then the electric skateboards and stuff.
Right.
And bikes, motocross, stuff like that. This thing right here will lock on to that through an active track, and it would literally just weave. And if it sees something and it's going too fast, it will stop, figure something out, and go and it slowly penetrate.
Is that a program that comes kind of stock with that out of the box that you can do position tracking?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's artificial intelligence developing.
We're seeing
it maps its environment, and the more you stay in that area, the more you learn, and the better it flies in that area.
And the police, what we've seen recently is police department in California, they've gotten a waiver to fly beyond visual line of sight, but it's a CPLA waiver. So what that means is close proximity, low altitude. So they can, because this drone is so aware, they're legally allowed to fly it up to 50 feet high, up to 1,500 feet away from them, around buildings and things like that. Because once they take it around the building, they know it's not going to whack into the building. It's spatially aware.
It mapped this environment.
The Department of Defense believes in this so much that they basically handed over like $20 million to Skydio.
And what they did release also just recently with their firmware update is case landing. So you throw this case out into the field, as long as you get the drone above it and it can see it, you hit land, and the drone, it'll just automatically come down on the case.
Oh, cool.
I'm about to get
Hey, Marty. I'm gonna run down the street real quick, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Who's got a bike? Oh shit!
Yeah, he's coming back to get it.
Can I ride it?
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
guess so.
It's not mine.
I'm gonna get track. I'm gonna have a track.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Well, here we go, Martin.
I want to see that.
Say I want to see that.
So there are guys that are really scared to MPV because they're scared to penetrate like cross members of an electrical power tower, 500 kV tower.
Right.
You can literally just go for it. It ain't gonna hit nothing.
I
The
like
only
that.
thing that it have problems looking at is skinny wires.
Oh, okay.
They have crashed. Now they'll advertise it as one that will never crash. But there's been a couple on the internet.
Everything
Power line. And they basically, he just turned the thing on, got on his motorcycle, threw it up in the air, and from behind him, he would ride his motorcycle through the neighborhood, and it would just fall on him.
How fast?
I've crashed that Skydio into a power line. I've crashed my
Power
Television
lines.
2 into a power line. I've ran my Phantom 4 Pro into a power line. What I'm trying to tell you is that power lines are not your fucking friends.
Again,
You guys-
something else I have to let you know. Stay
When
with
you're
the
flying
power.
DJI, and even though it has sensors on it and stuff, if you're going to slide left, and if you're going to work professionally ever with like a visual observer, you're going to give out a call. He's going to say, he's going to recommend it, and you're going to call it back that you understood that he understands. So you're going to say drift left, drift right, and get acknowledged. But even though you don't trust these sensors, I mean, really don't, okay? Because I do repairs, and I hear the stories when they come in the shop, and they're all the same. They lose GPS, it goes into attitude mode. They don't practice attitude mode at the very end of the flight when they come in and land.
Right.
And they're stuck in, there's a tree, 2 chimneys. They drop down in there, lose GPS. They're trying to get that last picture for drone deploy, trying to make $50 or whatever.
Right.
And they smack it up against the chimney or in the tree, and they bust the camera, and I gotta fix it. So whenever you want to go backwards, turn 180 and take a quick look, and then go backwards, right?
I don't blame
If
you.
you're gonna slide right or left, don't ever slide right or left without turning 90 and taking a quick look.
Now check this out. This drone, it won't fly without an SD card in it. The reason it won't fly without an SD card in it is because it's using that in a
To map.
sense to map, but also to track like what is happening. Like for some reason it won't fly without an SD card, which is crazy ridiculous because sometimes you just want to see stuff, right? You just want to put it up. What if you don't have, right? The great thing you have with Mavics and Autel, they have internal storage, right? So you cannot take off without an appropriate SD card in here. And you can't take off if it's too dark. Because if these cameras can't function, it can't do what it's supposed to do. So in the dark, you can't fly this thing. So it's like you're. It's a tool. It's one tool in the UAS. So now I gotta find that.
There's that other thing. Is it a toy or a tool?
Yeah,
It's a tool.
I'm kind of upset.
Told you, I'm about.
You've got
You gonna look up
GPS and attitude mode that you can switch through. Although when you're ready to come home and try to change your battery out or go home,
I think
just flip it to attitude mode and practice that. What happens in attitude mode is the barometric altimeter sensor is still being used, so you have vertical stability on. So basically, vertically, wherever you put it at vertically, it stays.
kind of funny.
But you don't have stability control sliding right to left. When you put on GPS, it's a vertical column line of information. You know, latitude, latitude, in degrees and minutes.
Right.
Alright, that number is processed in flight controller, and whatever number you are, latitude, longitude, is going to stick right there. It's evident by grabbing it, pulling it back, and releasing it. It goes right back to that point. So you change that. You lose that when you lose GPS. You still have attitude mode, but you don't have it laterally. Okay?
Right.
So whatever the wind is, it's going to drift and slide.
Okay.
That's where you crash. When you're inside buildings or trees or something like that. You know, whenever you go from right here to that way, you know mode 2 switching. You go that far back, everything's opposite on the right stick, right? That's not going to happen. You're not going to crash it with that one. With DJI, you will. So always look where you're going with the sensor. You know, don't count on those sensors in you. You'll fly.
And I'd say sometimes, like if you think you said you're doing video work, like sometimes you have to turn the sensors off to get a certain shot.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Attitude mode.
you know, as the pilot, like you know your flight line. Like you know that you can clear through these trees, right? But what's going to happen is if you're coming through here, you're clear left or right, the sensor will pick it up, and then all of a sudden your shot just stops and is kind of killed. So
Yeah, a lot of professional pilots, they fly attitude mode.
I was taking that home with me, man.
We're getting ready to test fly. But we got it sold, man. So
can I test ride it real quick? Can I ride it real quick? Here.
Oh, you got it to fly. Okay.
hey, are you under the trees?
It don't matter. It's not going to hit them.
Good call.
Here, I'm going to put the hand sanitizer on too, so I won't get your...
Let me turn off the. You can take your time with it, man.
Okay.
All right, I'm going for everybody. I'm gonna cut right through the middle of it.
I don't believe you.
I'm gonna go right through the middle of it. Look at these dots everywhere. It ain't supposed to crash.
You say it ain't supposed to.
Unfortunately,
One man party, Rob.
ain't that crazy?
You say over here, over here. Wow.
Okay, guys. All I did with all I did. Do I have to act to track it?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta show me where it's at.
God, I'm just going to show them all over
Oh, just tap you. Okay, you tap. Just got you.
That tracks is about
That's it.
that tracks is
Take
about
off.
that tracks is about as fast as my drone.
Okay, so when I came through here, all I did was right stick all the way forward and held it the whole time.
And then
I didn't go right with it. I didn't go left with the stick. I just pushed it forward. And
It's
did
definitely
all that.
tracking him.
It did all that. That's probably. Is that what delayed it? It was scanning like the
It was
trees and stuff.
scanning.
Yeah.
It was learning its environment.
You okay?
That's amazing.
This
That thing is
when it
amazing.
comes to tracking,
Yeah, it's tracking him,
Look at that thing.
and it's on him too.
That is crazy.
It's tracking him. Well, I guess I wasn't running. I was walking, but I guess that's pretty good.
Look at this.
Wow.
Look, you see the people under the tree? They're like, look at
Right.
that. Zigzag the trees. Zigzag. Come back in. Run around the tree.
No way.
Yeah, that thing is tracking him like crazy.
That's what it looks like when robots take over.
Put a couple of missiles on there. He is done.
That's it.
You ain't getting away from that.
No.
Right.
It's like
That thing is
Terminator right
ducking
there.
and dodging the daggone trees.
Yo, you're done for.
Now you know our Mavic do that. It probably track you about just as fast, man. I've seen people riding bikes and driving cars while it do it, so that's
This
cool.
company last week was given $100 million cash infusion from venture capitalists.
Wow.
What?
What's the name of the company?
Skydio.
I wonder if they're.
The reason-
Are they public?
Man.
It went around.
They went around the tree.
Right.
The reason is the big Chinese scare right now.
Oh wow.
That's,
Man, it ducked him.
it's the only American company
Oh. Okay.
that's doing stuff.
That's
better
cool.
Than DJI.
Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
Chinese, right?
Skydio.
Skydio.
They got that. I'm impressed with that right there.
Oh, no doubt.
What's the battery life on that?
Good motocross. All them kind of.
Oh yeah, that's a good. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Oh,
Having all them.
No, how long the battery last?
Everything's usually 20, 25.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's about
I
right.
think they're like, oh, we're 30, you know.
And it stayed on
It
him.
stayed on them.
Don't get that.
Get in your car and drive away. See the stick next to your window the whole time.
Don't get that Antifa dude.
Yeah, right?
Unreal.
Yeah.
You guys doing active track?
Look
On the Skydio, man, that thing was a beast. It ducked you parking, it went around you, and still continued to track him.
That's pretty smooth.
Yeah, I'm liking that.
Running from this thing more than he is.
Right.
See it flying back.
Your wife gonna be like, "What the hell was you doing out there? You supposed to be flying. That's a no contact sport." Say, "Get it off me."
You gotta slow jogging until it runs out of battery.
You couldn't get away.
Go for a policeman.
He's out of battery.
Pretty fucking nice.
So when you say the camera's not that great on that, I mean, what's not that great? Is it still comparable to like?
Megapixels.
It's
what
not a
is it,
20
12?
megapixel camera. It's a
Okay.
phenomenal camera.
Damn, that is nice though. I like it.
When I say not that great, it's just
That's what's so weird is after flying,
They go mess with people.
I'm like still nervous that it's gonna crash.
Right.
You know,
And you
dude.
know-
When I jumped off the
for you
bike,
to lose control,
started running,
Right.
You're giving it
my
complete
legs are like
control.
jello.
Yeah, I tell you what, that thing's impressive.
The police,
Like, when
the
I
police
do
just
something and
tap
it
a
don't
button. It's
move,
gonna
I'm
track you no
doing
matter
it
where you go.
I feel like I'm
Yeah.
gonna crash.
Exactly. I would too.
Can you imagine if the police had that?
Right. The
I'm
police.
not chasing you.
I ain't gotta chase you at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah, if he's going
so
out
what
that
is
street.
important about that
Just put it right.
demonstration?
He'll be tired in a minute.
Yeah.
Not that the camera quality is so megapixels, but
All right,
that-
so yeah, just
the
let me know. I'll
awareness.
free up to like 5, 6.
you
Right.
can put that now.
Yeah.
Put that spatial awareness
Right.
on any other drone.
Yes.
That's what Skydios do.
Mm-hmm.
Someone could come by. This is what the industry, right? That drone could be gone in a year.
Right. It's gonna be
But
something
the
better.
technology on it
Is
what's next.
Right.
Woo! All right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's the
That's,
hat around.
that's a.
There you go.
That's the hat around. This is church. Y'all in service.
Yeah.
You're gonna get an amen.
Amen.
I bought a drone last week.
That is a cool drone, man.
Dude, I jumped off that bike, tried to run, and my legs are like this. That's pretty good though. I tried to go right at that tree, right, to try to get it to.
Run at it.
When it followed me through here, I was impressed. Especially when you were back.
You're right.
at
It
the
ducked.
same time.
It just went around him.
Well, but we definitely beat the heat, y'all.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. We did that.
beat the heat.
So tell them about the new X2. How did they know with the?
Yeah, what's the deal with the commercial platform?
Let him get his breath.
No cigarettes.
This is a rural day.
Yeah, well, I say what they've done just recently is they introduced the X2, which is like, this is kind of like your
Intro.
Yeah, this is when it first came out, almost 7-8 months ago. It was strictly viewed, in my perspective, as a recreational drone.
Okay.
Then I flew it. From a video cinematography aspect, there's nothing that's going to do what that is. There's nothing that, and it's only $1,000 bucks.
Wow.
So you got to have your Mavic 2 Pro. When you add this to the bag, it just changes the game a little bit. Then from a commercial standpoint, the flight time on this is about 19 minutes. So in the commercial industry, we're going with the Mavic 2 Pro. You're getting 28, 27 minutes. They got the 210, 300, 30 minutes, right, is that mark.
Right.
19 minutes is just not quite there. And it was built off of Wi-Fi. Fly it from your phone. That remote is a piece of shit from a commercial standpoint. They released the X2. It's got a built-in screen into the remote. Longer flight time. It's got a FLIR sensor built into it. So they're taking that same great spatial awareness and they're actually putting it on more of an enterprise level platform. But like Marty pointed out, when you look at it, it looks like a home-built drone. So from a ruggedness standpoint, everything's open about it.
Right.
They've said that it's like IP rated, waterproof, so maybe the whole thing is it's so well protected, it doesn't need all that casing around it.
Right.
You look at every,
Yeah, I would have taken
by DJI, this is the most exposed
I'm the only
drone.
one here with the bed.
Well,
It was perfect.
maybe your M2, your own 100.
Not a big deal.
But this is very much exposed
Right.
to the elements.
I got something.
But if you check that out, the X2, like I said, they're taking everything from the S2, putting it in there. And the last point I will make is if you look at the recreational and commercial side of folks that are leveraging drones, no one is just using just a drone, right?
What do you mean?
Is that thing turned on?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. It said I had to turn on to get pictures out of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You don't have to take the gimbal guard off. Don't ever
Turn it on, leave it on.
Don't ever turn your drone on with the gimbal guard on.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll blow the servo motor.
It'll overheat.
Probably.
And then when you have it turned on, don't flip it upside down.
Oh, okay.
When that thing's on,
Yeah.
it's okay that you're doing it. You're not the
Yeah.
first person.
Yeah.
When you turn that thing on, those motors are active. You don't want to flip it and flip it. Treat that thing like a baby.
I agree.
You'll burn your gimbal motors out if you keep that on. I've done it. I did it a few days ago. Don't worry. It happens. You learn your workflow.
Yeah.
Gimbal guard off, then drone on. If you look at every industry, no one's using just hardware. The hardware is the drone.